Apply what you learn in these episodes. Apply what you learn in these episodes. I promise you, it is going to help you navigate the stresses, the chaos, and the people. The people that trigger you, the situations that trigger you, and then the residue from the stress. It will help you to navigate it and better be able to handle it. I promise you. Public service announcement. Passionate. Let me tell you something.
So what is this Passion PSA podcast? Who am I? Well, they call me Passion, short for passion, no last necessary. Why is there no last name necessary? Because the first name says it all. I am Passion and all that embodies. What do I do here? I give you the life coaching that you know you need, but don't enroll yourself in. When did I start? Actually, 2017. I'd leave a PSA on my Instagram regarding something I'd observed, and now we've evolved to this. Why do I do it? Why not? If even one person is able to take away one thing that changes their life, someone else's life, or changes the world for the better, then I've done what I was charged to do. So come on in, sit and listen for a while. There's something here for everyone at the Passion PSA podcast.
Greetings and salutations, my beloved Passionates, newcomers, visitors, and guests. Welcome to what is almost a live episode. This is definitely a play-by-play in real time of what happened when I was fully working on a whole other episode and it went kablooey pow pow because an email notification came in and derailed basically my last for almost 4 hours. This is a for your consideration zone where the objective is to offer you a perspective you may not have previously considered to A, expand your thinking, and B, aid you in becoming a better version of yourself, for yourself, and for others. This is a safe space, but not necessarily a delicate one. I will not ever rob you of your right to feel what you feel. Same way, I won't sugarcoat the truth to make it more palatable. The goal is to get you to your highest and best self. I feel like I'm forgetting to say something, but my mind is all over the place. If you are new here, affirmations are our first order of business. So that we can set the tone. So that we can set the tone and make the experience a little bit smoother in the event that I ruffle your feathers. I don't think I'll ruffle your feathers today, but today my feathers were a little ruffled. So that is why I took a moment to actually do the affirmations, because there weren't going to be affirmations. As you can see, I was already in the editing process. Okay. But here we are. So if you're ready, go ahead and take a deep breath. You're always welcome to repeat after me, or take this time to state your own affirmations. Let's get on the same frequency. The work is working. The work is working. The work is working. I am grateful for the work that I have done. I am grateful for the work that I am doing. I am grateful for the results. I am grateful even when I can't see the results right now. I know it's working for me to my highest good right now. I'm at peace. I am deserving of the peace that I cling to. I am coachable. I am correctable. I am unafraid to stand my ground when I'm right. I am well. It is well. All is well. Well is all. Ashe, ashe, ashe. I promise y'all this wasn't supposed to be today's episode. And it's going to be today's episode because the episode that I wanted to release today it still needs a little bit of work, but I want you to have something for today. You can see I'm not in the studio. I'm not even like fully dressed, right? That's why the camera is at the angle that it is. Matter of fact, let me get decent. Let me get decent so that y'all can like have an experience. This is how you know I'm not lying. Here go my shirt. Hold on. Passion is, if there's one thing that I could tell you, one bit of advice that I could give you about business ownership, don't let anybody pressure you into getting an LLC, and because it's a protection against this or protection against that. If you know that you don't manage yourself well and you don't have the resources to be able to get somebody to manage your accounts and your funds for you, if you don't have the skill set, this is, especially if you're doing your business by yourself, it is such a learning curve, and there's so many things that are going to happen. The reason you hear this music in the background is because I'm currently on hold with M&T. That's where I have my business account. I didn't open a business account with M&T, but M&T merged with People's United. And so I never had an issue with People's United ever. Since I've been with M&T, it's been issue after issue after issue. I'm not supposed to receive service charges. I receive service charges on my account intermittently for no reason. Last year, so I'm recording this in 2026. Last year, 2025, January, I received a call from a representative. And as soon as I get off the call, I'll play the voicemail.
Hi, this message is for Latasha. This is calling from M&T Bank in New Rochelle. When you get a chance, if you can please return my call. The number here is 914. Once again, the number, 914. My name is... Thank you so much. Bye.
And I was told that I needed to call back with something regarding my account. When I finally was able to speak to someone, they told me that I needed to bring in documentation. I brought the documentation into the bank. I'm speaking to the representative, Melanie, now in May of 2026. Here we go. Because I want you to see that today's date, I'm trying not to, May 12th, right? Can you see it? There you can see it. Tuesday, May 12th, okay? January of 2025, I brought the documents in. I'm on the phone with them now because I did a transfer to Chase from Chase. And Chase sends me an email, your transfer was returned because your account is frozen. I call M&T to find out why my account is frozen. Oh, because every 3 to 5 years we do an account update. I said, again? She was like, excuse me? I said, again? I said, I just did this in January of last year. I said, because I had to call myself. I said, you know what? This isn't Melanie's fault. I said, let me take a breath. I said, I received this phone call last year. I went into the branch. I asked for the representative that called me to follow up with me after I went to the branch, and he wasn't there that day. He has yet to call me back. We're talking about a year and a half later. He has yet to call me back. Now, my paperwork is on file correctly, but my account is still frozen, and I made a payment against this account. So now, if American Express says, well, we're going to charge you a fee because we weren't able to get the payment that you made, and what's M&T going to do? Apologize? Because an apology is unacceptable when you froze my account and didn't send me any literature. I'm looking at my notifications. Only thing I see in my notifications is statements and an advisory that you're making updates to my account. So you didn't send me any paperwork saying that you're going to freeze my account. You didn't give me a phone call. You didn't give me anything, but you froze my account because of the incompetence of somebody else. And now I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And every time I turn around, y'all are not doing what you're supposed to do. If you do not have the time to manage the business end of being a business owner, if you don't have, I won't say the skill set because you'll learn on the fly, right? But if you don't have the time and you don't have the attention to detail, owning a business is not for you. Because, or it is for you when you have additional hands that can help you. If you don't have the additional hands that can help you, it becomes an issue. Because the additional hands, they're going to be the ones that are going to catch these things. Thank God I saw the notification on my iPad from my emails, and I was like, what do you mean the transfer wasn't processed? Here I am thinking it's the transfer that I made from a totally different account, and I'm wondering how come I don't see it in Chase, and I'm ready to go off on this other account. Whole time I transferred it to the wrong account. I transferred it to a personal account at M&T. Now I'm going to close all of my accounts at M&T because I don't like how y'all do business. Since I've been an M&T customer, I have been totally dissatisfied with your service. Now I'm going to close all of my accounts. I have no reason to continue on with you because there's always something and it's never satisfactory. So this is just me sharing with you not some of the woes, but some of the challenges that you can experience, and advising you if you're not built for it, if you don't have the time for it, if you got 75,000 other things that you have to juggle, and one other thing is going to push you over the ledge, or something like this can fall through the cracks, because there are other things that have fallen through the cracks for me that I have to scramble to pick up and put the pieces back together. If you don't have either the management skill, somebody else who can help you with it, or the know-how, don't let anybody bully you into it. Because it is a challenge, and it's not a challenge that's fun when you're doing it on your own. It's not a challenge that's fun especially if you don't have people around you who can talk you through what to do next. That's it. I wanted to pour that into you. How long is this video? This is the brief hold. This is the second brief hold. We're at 6 minutes and 30 seconds. This is the second brief hold for something that I did everything I was supposed to do January 2025. It's May 2026. Y'all have a great day. Because I don't remember when the merger took place. At that time, I had some confusion about the account. I had some questions. I went into the branch in Bronxville. I thought I had gotten everything sorted out. Since then, like I said, intermittently, I'm being charged service charges. I find it absolutely insane that I just looked at my account. Let me open it back up. I just looked at my account of when I was actually looking for my account number so that I could make the phone call. Hold on, because I got logged out. And I was looking in what's it called? In my notifications.
Transaction history?
No,
oh, okay.
In my notifications to see if there was anything there. I don't have a letter saying we're going to freeze your account. I haven't received a phone call saying we're missing documentation. I haven't received a phone call saying we're going to freeze your account. So M&T knew that they were missing information for a year and a half, because we're talking about January of 2025 and it's May of 2026. So information that I brought in for some reason is missing. The exact information that I brought in. So I spent time, I spent gas, I spent energy. Never got a phone call from the representative that initially called me. Never was advised what this information was for. I said, I don't understand why I needed to bring this in, because in order to open the account, I had to provide all of this. This should all be on file. Oh yeah, but we just needed a copy. So to me, that's insanity. Why would you need a copy of something you already have? Okay, no problem. I brought it. Again, that's January of 2025. We're in May of 2026. At no point between then and now Has anybody attempted to get in contact with me to say, we're having whatever issue and we need you to provide this information? However, when I'm looking at my account, because I don't know what date my account was frozen, what I do know is that I made a payment from this account. And the reason that there was even a flag is because I transferred the money in to be able to make the payment. The payment shows on the end of my creditor, which means that now my creditor, American Express, is probably going to charge me a bounce check fee for an account that's not overdrawn, for money that even if the transfer didn't go through, the money was available, but it was never taken out, because I don't see any pending charges here. It was not taken out, but somehow M&T, in all of the things that they didn't do, they didn't forget to charge me a service charge for an account that should not be getting charged a service charge unless I had less than $1,000 in this account, because when I opened my account with People's United, that was the minimum and that was the grandfathering. So I shouldn't be receiving any service charges, but I received one in May, on May 8th. And today is what? May 12th. May 12th, I get an email from Chase telling me your account is frozen. That is absolutely ridiculous, that the only reason I know that my account is frozen is that Chase sent me an email because they weren't able to complete the transfer, as opposed to M&T. But M&T calls me a valued customer. You don't treat valued customers like this. You don't not inform them, we're missing the documents that you gave us in January of 2025 because somebody didn't do what they were supposed to do in here. And so now, because we didn't do what we were supposed to do, we're freezing your accounts and putting you in jeopardy of not only receiving the fees that we're charging you that we shouldn't be charging you, but we're also putting you in jeopardy of receiving additional fees and dinging your business credit with your creditor because you made a payment that they say they have, but they didn't get from us, even though you made the payment through us. That is not how you treat customers that you value. That is not how you treat customers that you don't even like. Like, you could dislike somebody and you still don't treat them that way because you wouldn't want to lose their business. And my account might not be the most booming account. I'm a small business. I'm still learning. I'm still growing. But this isn't how you handle people that are starting out, because then you make them lose faith in everything. So the fact that on May 8th, I was charged a $10 service charge for this account, but when I go to look and see, okay, well, do I have some information to let me know we freezing your account? That's not what I see. That's not what I see. So that is very, very disheartening. It's also very, very infuriating, because this is a business that I'm building and I'm doing it by myself. And to be doing it by myself, and for M&T to M&T, who got everybody under the sun, I gotta keep track of everything. And while I'm trying to keep track of it, this is what I see every time I come in here. Intermittently, there's charges. M&T can give me my service charges back because I never should have been charged for it. For this month, we can go back through the list of every time I was charged a service charge. And it's interesting because it only happens on my business account. Doesn't happen on my personal account. I don't understand how M&T does business, but I never had these issues with People's United, ever, not once. And I've consistently had issues with M&T since the merger.
I really do apologize. I can hear your frustration, and I would be just as upset. I want to do everything that I can to help you. I want to waive as many service charges as I can waive. I want to make everybody, the proper people, aware of what's going on and what's happened. I want to contact that branch, the New Rochelle branch, and see how this was missed, especially, given that you did spend your time getting into the branch and providing the documentation that would have prevented all of this. I don't want to keep you, if you don't mind staying on the line, just so I can give you confirmations of everything and possibly get you in contact with that branch. I'll be speaking on your behalf, but if they have anything that they can update you with or assure you that they're handling anything, I'm sure you would want to know that. You don't have to stay on the line with me once again because I know enough of your time has been wasted, but I will be following up with all of this, and I will also be filing a complaint with all of your concerns because I've recorded everything as you were speaking. So, I mean, we can definitely try and make this right if you have any more patience for us. I'll do everything that I can.
I appreciate that, Melanie, and I believe in your effort.
We would really appreciate the second chance. I know this experience has been quite a bad one, but I will, again, do everything that I can. So if you don't mind waiting on hold, I'll go ahead and initiate this process. If you don't want to wait on hold, I'll have someone follow up with you if I don't do it myself personally.
I'll stay on hold. That's fine.
Okay, perfect. Give me one more moment.
Okay, y'all. So I put on a top. Okay. This is so when you see gaps in episodes, sometimes it's things like this going on behind the scenes. There was like a 2-week gap, right? And then I released like 3 episodes in 7 days. And during that time, I was having a fight with a whole other credit card company. And that was supposed to be its own episode. And I'm still going to do that episode because it is important. I believe in the work that we do here, but I also believe in, as someone who is going from the bottom to the top, of taking you through the experience. So when you decide, oh, you know, I want to try this, I want to do this, you have a guide. You can see some of the things that you experience. Now, that particular experience was not business related. It was personal. However, it's a conversation around AI. And since AI is such a huge topic right now, I think it's imperative to have that. Nonetheless, this particular, like I said, this particular episode was not supposed to be the episode for today. Today's episode was supposed to be about care. But shout out to the detox, because I told you I was on a 21-day detox. I am in week 2. I did not put on deodorant as yet. And I can say, even with stress sweat, right? Because stress sweat doesn't happen because you're working out. Stress sweat happens when you're having conversations like this and you're explaining craziness to somebody, and then you're what you call it, and then, you know, those sweat glands open up, but no incorrectness coming from my armpits. Praise God, because I, you know, shout out to y'all that be like, oh, I wear deodorant like once a week. Really? I ain't built like that. So, yeah, no pomp, no circumstance, because I was not even about to go back and set up shop in the studio just to do this. I had no intention of recording this. I actually just wanted to, when she came back to the line and said that the reason that my account is frozen is that the paperwork that I submitted was not properly handled. No, because now you're making me question. So who did what with my paperwork? Because there's sensitive information there, and if it's not properly in the file, then what did they do with it? I need answers. And so right now, every time you see me look into my left, I'm actually looking at my laptop. Y'all see? Y'all see? I was going down. Okay. I'm actually looking at my laptop just to see, like, the service charges that I have incurred, and like when I incurred them, and why. So I'm going back as far as I can. 12 months would be May of last year. 18 months should be January of last year. I should be able to see it, but for whatever reason, when I was looking before, I must not have changed the year. I thought it only allowed me to see less time than it did, but it's letting me see everything. So, because I know we've had this conversation repeatedly, I've talked to them repeatedly about these service fees, and I shouldn't have any because my account is not dropping below $1,000. So there's no reason for me to have any. The whole thing is chaotic. But I have not enjoyed any parts of this M&T journey at all. It has been it's constantly, I have to call to get service fees refunded. I have to call for things I should not have to call for. I think it's time to end the relationship because there's no reason to continue the relationship. I don't want to take it out on the person that I'm speaking to because she is lovely. And I think that that's another, that's definitely a passion point. Put this in your toolkit. This is why we do the work, right? Because when you have a conversation like this, remember that the representative that you're speaking to, while they are a representative of the corporation, they might be 1,000% in your shoes. They might be 1,000% on your side. They might be 1,000% in agreement with what you're thinking, what you're experiencing. And unfortunately, where their check is coming from is to stand not really in solidarity with the company, but to be able to operate on behalf of the company. So where I want to go ballistic, or the part of me that wants to go ballistic, shout out to this detox, because like the rage definitely has been quelled some, where I could easily go through the roof. There's no reason for me to go up in Melanie. Melanie didn't do this. Idiot boy at the branch, New Rochelle, Pelham, whatever branch it is, idiot boy over there that initiated the phone call in January of 2025. Him? Oh yeah, he could catch it. He could catch it. He could get his whole face snatched off, right? The lady that received the paperwork, what happened to her? Because she's telling me, I have proof that you came in. Like we have this documented that you did come into the branch. And in a year and a half, nobody could say to me, hey sis, somebody dropped the ball. So instead you froze my account, but didn't tell me? Y'all greasy for that. That's disgusting. So, right now I'm just reviewing to see like where I have service charges, why I might have service charges, and get them addressed. Let's see if we can get that resolved, at least get that money refunded to me. And just keep in mind that these are the things, right? Again, this is so 7 minutes and some change that I've been talking to you, right? But this is after I stopped the video, put my shirt on, okay? So a brief hold. These are the brief holds, and these are the things that you have to remember. And this actually goes in line perfectly with the episode that was supposed to be today's episode. It all works together for my highest good. So I'm not gonna sit for the next however many minutes. I am gonna do a time check. Right now 12:36. So I'm gonna stop the video. When she comes back on, I will bring the video back up, and I will do a time check at that time as well, so we can know like exactly where we are. Okay? Okay. All right, I'm here.
Okay, perfect. So I did go ahead and email the branch and the branch manager and the person that helped you that day, which was, I don't know if you would remember the name from January of 2025, but I emailed that person, the branch itself, and the branch manager, so that we can call attention to this situation and see where the documents could have ended up if we don't have them already in the system and then they just forgot to reach out to our back office to let them know. But that email has been sent, and then is it good for them to contact you back, the one ending in...
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I left them with that number. I filed the complaint, and now I'm still working on getting all the fees reversed that you were charged. So I don't see anything in the initial transition, but I see on December 8th we charged you, on February 11th we charged you, and I already waived the two for March and May. So I think some of the months you were meeting the requirements of the new account, but I also mentioned that you were grandfathered in at People's United, and if we have an account that better meets your needs here, then we can do that, or we can initiate possibly a permanent waiver of the fee. So we're going to look into all of that, but let me get these last two fees waived. I'm going to place you back on hold. I'll be just a few more moments.
Okay.
All right, one moment.
So two things that I can say. First thing, Black women for the win, because it's usually when I say this unapologetically, because almost every time I've had a crazy situation, it's been a Black woman who was the one to be like, okay, let's look at this, let's look at that. I'm gonna try to find you this, I'm gonna try to find you that. When it was this other credit card, which I told you that's a separate episode, I had a situation. I was on a train on my way back from Philly. When I got to the train station, I went to the counter and they told me that the ticket I had wasn't valid for the ride. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I said, I bought a round trip ticket, a 1-day round trip ticket. I said, for whatever reason, that's not what they had. And they were like, well, it's too bad. Like, you can't get on it. Basically, I couldn't get on the train without buying a whole new ticket. And I was like, what? What do you even mean? When I tell you I was furious. I'm talking about tears. Every emotion under the sun. And the conductor on the train, she took one look at my face and she was like, what's wrong? And I was like, and she was like, what happened? And I told her, she was like, beep, boop, boop, beep, boop, beep. I don't know what she did, but she was like, your money's been refunded. Enjoy your ride home. Black women for the win. You will never make me back down from that. Okay? Because the sisters be coming through. And I'm not talking about like violating policies. I'm not talking about breaking laws. I'm not talking about doing anything that they're not supposed to do. I'm talking about finding a way to rectify the situation so that it works for everybody. So you don't lose my business because I'm disgusted with how this has been handled for a year and a half. Because this has been chaotic. Black women for the win. I forgot what the other point that I was going to make was. But this is why we do the work in this space. And I cannot stress this enough. This is why. Because when you do the self-work, when you look at you, when you look at how you are reacting to situations, when you are looking at how you are engaging with people, you're engaging with somebody and you're infuriated, but you're not infuriated with the person. Like Melanie has been respectful and pleasant and cordial since the beginning of the conversation. Melanie didn't do me nothing wrong. M&T Bank, 100%. I don't know who you got in your back office and that branch over there. Y'all can't ask me for anything, because the person that I spoke to, where I don't remember their name, and I'm fairly certain I did do a video, and I will have to dig in my archives where I don't remember the name of the person that I spoke to. I remember that it was a female, but I remember that it was a male that called me, and I don't think the person that I dealt with that day actually worked at that branch. I think that she was visiting from another branch. Irrespective, since you ain't do the job, you ain't do what you were supposed to do. And if you did, and somebody else was supposed to, because I think she was supposed to, if I remember correctly, she received the paperwork, she put it in the folder for Idiot Boy, Idiot boy didn't follow through. That's exactly. Because idiot boy was supposed to handle the paperwork, and idiot boy was supposed to call me back and talk me through at the because he was the one that was like, oh, you need to call me back, and then I called back, and then I think he said he was on a call and would call me back. Apparently, he didn't get off the phone yet. So, the self-work of being intentional about isolating the person is not who I'm infuriated with. The situation is who I'm infuriated with. And realistically, the person has been respectful. The person has been compassionate. There's no reason for me to start flipping and breaking on the person or conduct myself in any way less than professional with the person, because the person is not responsible for this egregious act. The person is not. She just happened to be the one that answered the phone. Being able to isolate that and being able to say, I'm furious about the situation, but I have options. Option number one is to talk to them and be like, what y'all gonna do? What y'all finna do? Option number two is to be able to say, it's nothing you could do because it's too long. So finish. We're done here. Without losing your whole cool, because I'm losing time that I need to be doing something else. But the episode created itself, right? And I promise you, this is exactly how episodes are born. These are the situations that I will then like talk. I'll record a voice note on Otter, or I'll record a voice note, or I'll record it on Otter, and then I'll copy the transcript. I'll make the edits, and then I'll parse it out. Okay, this sounds like gobbledygook. This was a rant. This didn't need to be in here. Like, for format purposes, I need to get rid of this. I need to add in a little bit more context over here. And then I sit down, I record. This ain't gonna get no edits. This, y'all remember? Y'all remember when I was in the hallway? When they were doing the floors and I recorded the episode sitting in the same chair. This Papa San has served me for so many years. God bless this Papa San. This is one of the original cast members. I feel like I'm in that same position, because you see I ain't gonna get no mic. Okay, so y'all getting all the reflections. Bing, bang, 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 bang. Ceiling, floor, walls, everything. But this is not going to be one that I'm going to go back and do edits to where this is, where the presentation is cleaner. This is the raw and uncut. This is what it looks like behind the scenes. This is what it looks like when I need to be working on the episode and I can't, because instead I'm spending, let's see.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am, I'm still here.
Yes, thank you for your patience. I do appreciate it. So everything on my end is complete. As I said, it'll either be me or the branch following up with you directly. Most likely it will be the branch, because they're going to want to make things right again, especially with the complaint that I filed today.
Mm-hmm.
But you are all set. If you could just give us a few more, I would say 24 hours to try to get all of our ducks in a row for you. We'll reach back out and we'll go from there.
Okay, I do have another question.
Yeah, sure.
So what happens, because I haven't received anything from Amex as yet, but I know that that's coming because I see the payment is reflected. And hold on. The payment is reflected, but the payment reflects on May 8th. So when was the account frozen? What was the date?
So the account was frozen on 5/6. But what's probably going on with that payment is that it's sitting in our approval or our system for all payments that need to be approved. And I'll reach out about that. I'll send another request over to the branch, because if it's sitting in that system, there's a chance that we can get this resolved in time to go ahead and approve it, and maybe the payment goes through. So if you haven't received the return notice for that payment, that's a good thing.
Okay.
But it was placed, the restriction was placed on the 6th.
That's so sad. Okay.
All right. Was there any other questions or anything else I can help with?
Oh, oops, I just locked the computer again. Sorry, give me 1 second. I know you put in you filed a complaint for me. I know that the person, I know you gave me a name. I think you said the person that I met with in person when I went to the branch was female. The person who had initially called me was male. I don't believe the person that I engaged with at the branch, actually, if I remember correctly, she did not work at that branch. She worked in another branch and was standing in, because I remember she took everything, she put it in a file folder, in a manila folder, and she wrote on a sticky note for the initial representative who had called me in the first place for him to call me back. I'm not able to play the message while I'm on a call, so I can't get his name right now. But I never deleted that voicemail, so I have the voicemail from him stating the initial voicemail that he needed to get in contact with me. And like I said, he was the one that I never heard back from. In terms of the service charges, you were able to you said you were able to waive them or refund them, or?
Right. So March and May,
Okay.
Those have already gone through. Those have been placed back into your account as of right now. I needed a secondary approval for the one charged in December 8th of 2025, and then there was another one here on February 11th. Because they're a little bit older, they go for secondary approval, but they're in the process of being reversed as well.
Okay. All right.
So, yes, it's the person that has notations or at least a history in the account around the time you said you went in.
Mm-hmm.
And then is the branch manager. And a lot of times at the branches, branch managers are the ones that assist with business accounts. So maybe it was Amelia, but either way, both have been included in the email. Mm-hmm. And if they see any notes that differ with anybody else on it that was supposed to follow up, they'll be able to provide the name of that person as well.
Okay.
That's only if you want it, as far as a complaint is concerned. But as far as, researching who should have the docs and who put what where, they should have that information. So I contacted the right people to get to the bottom of it.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions?
I don't think so. Because I think all of the other, I think those the main thing was the service charges. And I'm looking at the 68-cent service charge, but I know that's for a transfer. That's for an immediate transfer, but I don't remember if that transfer, I don't actually see a transfer here.
So I saw that one too, and usually those one-off charges, they are for a service, and it wouldn't let me touch it in the system as far as a request.
Mm-hmm. So
I'm thinking it was a service provided, but I'm more than happy to include that to the request to see if that can be worked on as well.
Okay.
Because I can't see what it was for either, and it may have been another erroneous charge from, maybe the transition or what have you.
So
I'll definitely put that one in.
Okay. I didn't mean to cut you off. I know that I've had those 68-cent charges before, and what was explained to me, because I had like several of them, and I was like, what is this? Like if you look back previously, and what they explained to me was that it was a service charge that was being charged to me. Like if you look in May of last year, you'll see that same charge. What was explained to me was that that particular charge was for transfer. So when I'm transferring money from Chase, I have two options. I can do an immediate transfer, so the money's immediately available, or I can do a standard transfer, which is like 1 to 2 business days. And before I was paying attention to that, I was doing the transfer and they were immediate transfers. Now, after I started getting multiple of those 68-cent charges, I was like, okay, flag on the play. What are we doing? And that's when they explained it to me. But like in February, there's a 3-cent charge. And I remember wondering, like, why do I have a 3-cent charge? What could possibly be a 3-cent charge? It didn't make sense to me. But I think I didn't bother to inquire about it because it was so minimal. But that too, I don't know what that service charge was for. And that the even the 68 cents, the reason that it's a point of question is because if we look, the charge was on the 8th. So is that because I would have to look at my Chase account and see if that was a standard transfer or an immediate transfer from that May 2nd transfer or from the April 28th transfer. Either way, it doesn't track for me. So I'm not sure. So if you could include it just so we can clarify whether or not it was an immediate transfer, because I think I had that issue before where they said, no, it was an immediate transfer. And I said, no, friend, I'm looking at my Chase account. This was definitely a standard transfer, 1 to 2 business days. So there's no reason I should have been charged for it.
Got it. Okay, yeah, I'll definitely include it. That's no problem.
Okay. Well, I think that's it.
Are you sure? I just want to make sure I'm including everything from the time you came over to us to now.
I think so. That last year, that issue was like the biggest issue because it was, like I said, it was never explained to me what this information was needed for. And then it's always been these service charges that keep coming up, these recurring monthly service charges, when then it should not be the case. So I think that's the biggest issue, because it also makes me, hesitant to do any additional business, because then it's like, okay, if I do additional business, like if we doing bad with this $10 and we keep having to have this conversation, and every time I speak to M&T, I'm talking to M&T about this $10, do I really want to go any further? I can say that your service today has been phenomenal from start to finish. So I absolutely appreciate everything that you have done and your professionalism throughout all of it. I want to make sure that I stress that.
Pleasure. Of course. Absolutely. Anything that I can do, if I come along in the middle of a situation like this, I try to make things right, at least on my end, as much as I can. And especially, with you sharing with me, kind of what's going on and what you are about, I definitely feel for you, and I would want someone to do this for me. So it was my pleasure, of course.
Thank you so much.
No problem. All right. Well, if you're sure that there's nothing else that you want me to add, I do want to let you know that I do apologize for the service you've experienced, but hopefully we can turn this around and repair this relationship, because you are a valued customer, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and we will be reaching out soon.
Thank you, Melanie. Have a great every day.
Thank you. You as well.
Take
care.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, y'all. So now what we're going to do is we're going to come over to my call log, right? You got to excuse the glare. I'm trying to Can't really. Okay, there. If I put it like right there, you can see it. 1 hour. Where's my finger? 1 hour, 3 minutes, 4 seconds. Business ownership is time consuming. If the type of business that you want to go into, especially I'm specifically speaking to my artists, if the type of business that you are doing, you are a performing artist, you are a visual artist, if you're the talent and you're doing everything by yourself, even if you're doing everything with one person, before you onboard them, let them know what it is that they are joining into. Let them know what the expectations are. This is why in like business podcasts and business coaching, they always talk about SOPs, knowing standard operating procedures. You got to stay on top of what's going on in your accounts. You got to stay on top of who you spoke to, document everything. This is why. Because you need to be able to say no on May 12th, 2026 at 11:54 a.m. I called and I spent an hour and 4 minutes on the phone, or an hour and 3 minutes on the phone with Melanie. So what do you mean? What do you mean this isn't addressed? Because this is a phone call, another phone call. I left from my house, went over to the branch, took the paperwork, and a year and a half later, the same paperwork is what they're asking me for. And saying, oh no, because you need to provide this. And if I didn't have all my ducks in a row, if I didn't have my thoughts in order, I wouldn't have been able to say, no. I brought that information in. I handed it in. I remember when she put it in a manila folder, closed it, wrote on a sticky note, please call this customer. Y'all, I'm going to keep working on the other episode. The season is winding down. I have so many feelings and I have so many things that I'll probably talk about in the season wrap up. But the season is winding down. Thank you for sticking it out with me. Thank you for those of you who are returning. Thank you for having faith that we were coming back. For those of you who are new, thank you for joining this journey. Thank you for coming on this journey with us. More to come, and it's gonna be great. And the next episode, I won't look like this. I promise I'll at least brush my hair down. I didn't anticipate recording, but anyway, clearly I could benefit from some donations. If you would like to make a donation, you can do so using the Zelle, PayPal, or Linktree links. They are in the description box. Share, subscribe, like, comment. Listener letters can be sent to mybrilliantfriendpassion@gmail.com. I am transparent here so that I can give you real time, real life experiences so you can see for yourself what it's like to do it. Because all these other people that have a machine and things are moving and grooving and shaking and baking. If you say, you know what, I'm about to start a podcast. Okay? Maybe think it through, because it can get rugged. That doesn't mean that your experience is going to be awful, and I wouldn't tell you not to start one. But know exactly what you're starting it for. Know exactly what it is that you want to talk about. Know if you want to be by yourself or if you're going to have a panel of guests. Line your guests up in advance. Do as much as you can in advance, because when you are doing things week to week to week, when things like this come up and you got to spend an hour on the phone with these people and an hour on the phone with these people and 2 hours over here, and after you get off this phone call, now you got to go and unearth all kinds of stuff. And the garbage still got to get taken out, and the groceries still have to be purchased, and the food got to be cooked, and the laundry has to be done, and everything else. Time. So we're going to talk about time next week. We're gonna talk about it. I'm excited. That's it. I don't think there's anything else I need to say. I think that I've shared enough with you for today. This long sip you saw me taking was the 32 ounces of tea that I have to drink. I'm not finished with it yet, but I'm still grateful it's doing what it's supposed to do. You Get Your Right Guru is definitely signing off. Y'all go forth, be great, be filled with bliss, be armed and empowered with knowledge. Apply what you learn in these episodes. Apply what you learn in these episodes. I promise you, it is going to help you navigate the stresses, the chaos, and the people that trigger you, the situations that trigger you, and then the residue from the stress. It will help you to navigate it and better be able to handle it. I promise you, I live it in front of you so that you can see that it works. Okay? I love all y'all. In all things, be passionate. See you later. Crazy. Where y'all going? We're not done. Right on time, y'all. Good afternoon. Thank you for calling.
Hi, Nancy Natasha.
Speaking.
Hi, Natasha. This is Eileen from M&T Bank in Bronxville.
The branch manager?
Yes.
We met before. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I won't complain.
I know it's been a while since I've seen you, and I did get an email that you have some concerns, so I just wanted to follow up with you and see what we can do.
So I spent an hour on the phone with Melanie today because my account was frozen because I was able to go back in my voicemails. Somebody by the name of Mundo called me from the New Rochelle branch in January of last year, and I ultimately was advised that I needed to bring paperwork in, and I didn't understand why, because I knew that it was like my operating agreement, things of that nature. And I'm like, I don't understand why I would need to bring in the paperwork that was required to open the account. But I did so. And at the time that I did, I went into the New Rochelle branch. He was not there. It was a Saturday, I want to say. He wasn't there that day. And the woman that I spoke to, she took the paperwork and she put it in a manila folder. And I said, I still didn't know like what this was about, because all he said was that he needed me to call him back. And she left a note for him to get in contact with me thereafter. Now, to date, a year and a half later, I have never heard from Mundo again. I have brought this to another representative's attention because I constantly receive the $10 service charge that, to my understanding, I should not be receiving. And and now for my account to be frozen, if my account was frozen because there was missing paperwork, okay. If my account was frozen because of anything on my part, okay. But the fact that when I called, the first thing she said was, every 3 to 5 years, we have to update your account. I said, I brought this paperwork in last year, and she was able to see all of that. And the fact that in a year and a half, nobody saw that there was something going on, that is very sketchy to me, because...
So I don't see anything wrong. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I don't see anything wrong with paperwork, Latasha. Mm-hmm. We do have to just verify information with you. Just to verify everything is up to date. That's all I can see right now. Is there still a hold on your account?
I don't know, because I haven't tried to transact anything. The way I found out was because Chase, I did a transfer, and Chase sent me an email and said, your transfer could not be completed because your account is frozen. You need to contact the other bank and see what's going on. At that point was when I was notified. So my account was frozen from the 6th, but nobody has gotten in contact with me to say, there's an issue with your account. And for it to be, at some point, at some place, there was a discrepancy where the paperwork was clearly brought into the branch, but somehow in the back office, the information wasn't updated. I don't know what's happening here.
The paperwork seems to be fine. I just pulled it, there is a hold on the account. Would you be able to pop over tomorrow here or New Rochelle?
Oh, I'm definitely not going to New Rochelle, because if I go to New Rochelle, I'm going to be very, very irate, because I don't understand how it is. Again, this is the second time that I'm speaking to somebody at M&T about the fact that the call that I was supposed to receive from January of 2025 from this Mundo person, I still have not received. So I'm not going over there, because at this point, that branch, I don't even know why they were the ones to contact me, because the only transactions I've ever done there are usually ATM transactions and a couple counter transactions. For the most part, if I've had any like heavy duty work to do, I did it with you, and that was a couple of years ago. So I would, can I come over tomorrow? Is it an inconvenience? Yes. Will I do it so that we can get things rectified? Yes, because I'm very displeased with this.
Yeah, I apologize for that, but you tell me what time is good tomorrow, and I'll be available for you, and we'll review everything. We'll look at the fees and everything like that too, because we can either change the account or review what you need to do to get it so we're not paying fees. We'll make it right.
Okay.
Yeah. What time works for you?
What time do I have to be in before? Let's do 11.
11. Okay. I'm putting you on my calendar.
Okay.
So I will see you tomorrow at 11.
Okay.
Thanks, Latasha.
Okay.
See you then.
Thanks, Eileen.
Have a good night. Okay. Bye-bye.
Almost messed around and gave y'all the wrong kind of show, but this is real time happening right now at 3:37 p.m. So I'm taking you through it so you can see the differences in the conversations and the differences in the information, and how the thing that you've allotted, even though I gave an hour to this already, it's still not rectified, right? So my account still has a hold on it, but not because of something that I did. Why? Release my account. But no, that's not what she said. She said, can you come in tomorrow? Can my account sit with this hold? Yeah. But if American Express charges me, y'all not gonna like that. Because there's more than enough money to cover the payment. So why hasn't at least the account been released? There's nothing holding the account up. The paperwork is fine. So why are you holding my account? Nobody has an answer for that, right? So after I've already given an hour that was designated for something else, now more time, more money, because it's more gas, more energy. I don't live in Bronxville, so I have to go 30 minutes out of my way, spend probably an hour over there again, and then come 30 minutes back because y'all can't get it together. This is why I want the account closed, because Melanie did everything right. Melanie did everything in her power to say, I don't want to lose this customer, especially under these circumstances. And Eileen is saying, oh, can you come by? Can I inconvenience myself some more? Sure. Because this way, I'll already be in the branch, so I can just tell you, you can go withdraw all the money, and you can give me my money back. But I want you to be prepared for the things. If you're going into business for yourself, these are some of the things that come up. Y'all have seen me go through it, and you haven't even actually seen that whole fight with Optimum, and they're still doing a terrible job. You've seen me, we've done a whole episode on optimum. Now this is the bank. These are the things that are happening behind the scenes, especially when you're not a big business, but you're a small business and you have to do all the things. These are the things that take place. So that's my 3:40 alarm. I'm going to get up out of here. For real this time, y'all go forth, be great, be filled with bliss, be armed and empowered with knowledge. Do the work on yourself so that when these people call you and they tell you some nonsense, or they tell you, well, nothing, your account is basically in good standing, so there's no reason for your account to still be on hold, but it's still on hold, we haven't released it. You don't climb through the phone and grab the person by their throat and say, if you don't release my account, I'm not going to release your throat. And in all things, be passionate. This is why we do affirmations. See you later. Oh my God.